120 years ago, there was a saying that if you were born in the English-speaking world, that you had won the lottery of life. As America continued to achieve its promise of freedom and opportunity for all through the 1920s, 30s, and 1940s and the World War, this statement became true for the U.S. as well. But it was not until the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Civil Rights Movement that we ultimately achieved what we inherit today, and the inheritance that we need to pass on to our students and our children in this generation. That opportunity should be available to all, no matter your background, no matter the color of your skin. Critical race theory objects to this. It disagrees with the Civil Rights Movement. It says it is incomplete. It is skeptical of the Enlightenment. It is skeptical of the rule of law. Those that advocated for critical race theory have said as much. Derek Bell, called the godfather of critical race theory, said he hoped that the academic resistance would create wide-scale resistance. And they were talking about resistance to the culture in which we live, to the opportunity to tell the next generation that it would be theirs to inherit the promise of freedom and prosperity. As was described by the representative just now, those that are advocating for critical race theory in schools are using affinity groups where students are broken apart based on the color of their skin for separate school activities and school projects. In California, a curriculum for math, no less, says that math teachers should consider the homework assignments to students based on whether they are children of color, not based on how much they need to know or where they are in their classroom. Herbert Marcuse, one of the original critical race theorists, said that in order to achieve tolerance, we must take away the rights from some and give rights to others. Despite what opponents may say, critical race theory exists in schools today. In fact, the National Education Association, the nation's largest teachers union, just had their annual conference and said that they would work to make sure that critical race theory remained in schools. Of course, the American Federation for Teachers president then later said that critical race theory was not in schools, so it depends on which union you ask. The Portland Public School System has a critical race theory coalition. Their meetings are available on YouTube. The Loudoun County Public School System contracted with a teacher professional development organization that uses the words critical race theory in their teacher trainings. The Hayward School District in California released a press release saying that they would include critical race theory in their ethnic studies program. These are the words of those who are saying today that they are using critical race theory's discriminatory ideas in classrooms today. We should create opportunities for everyone. Education must be the ladder of success and opportunity, no matter your background, no matter the color of your skin. We must not be afraid to embrace the message of the founders of the United States, and that there was a time when America did not live up to its potential of freedom and opportunity, but it has so now. Racism is a sad part of fallen life that we should reject. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 means that the government will no longer stand for discrimination in public life. The Civil Rights Movement made discrimination morally objectionable, utterly unacceptable in society today, and that is the legacy that we must teach to our children. That is what we must carry forward in K-12 schools today. For state lawmakers, they must look carefully at what the provisions are for K-12 schools in their states. No public institution should compel a teacher or student to adopt, believe, profess, adhere to any idea that violates the Civil Rights Act of 1964, including the idea that one race is superior to another, or that individuals from different races deserve different sanctions or benefits based on the color of their skin. They can do this at the same time that they say that schools do not have the responsibility to protect people from ideas with which they disagree. Students should be taught how to handle ideas with which they don't know, with which they are objectionable, but they must not be compelled to discriminate based on skin color. That is the responsibility for state officials. That is the responsibility for schools today. The future for conservatives in the United States is to bring this message of hope and opportunity and prosperity and equality under the law as America's promise to this generation and the next. That is our responsibility. Thank you.